For 30 years, WUWF 88.1 FM has served this community, and it keeps getting better. As of January 31st, WUWF now offers 2 channels thanks to recent advances in digital technology. Joining me now to tell us about the new format and how it all works is Pat Crawford, Executive Director of WUWF Public Media. Pat, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Well, before we get into what we're actually supposed to be talking about here, I want to publicly again say thank you to you and your staff and all that y'all have done to help keep Coming of Age on the air and to help us share messages with our senior audience. We couldn't do it without you.
Well, it's been our pleasure. It's been a good partnership for us.
Well, thank you very much. So let's get on to congratulations to you guys on 30 years of WUWF. Tell us a little bit about the history and how you got where you are today.
Well, this station went on the air in January of 1981. And the plans for it began in the mid-70s, really shortly after the university came into existence. And through the hard work of Dr. Tom Perry, who was the original manager of the station, he got all the paperwork done, all the lobbying that was necessary to get people on board to support it. And it did go on the air in 1981. And so it is, in fact, our 30th anniversary. I came to the station in 1982, so it's I've almost been here since the beginning. In fact, I was 30 when I came to the station, and now the station's 30. So it's been an interesting tenure. It was something totally new to this area. Public radio was not something that people who were from this area had experienced before, unless they traveled. But a lot of folks, particularly with the military who had lived in other areas, knew what public radio was, and they welcomed it with open ears, I guess you could say, when we went on the air in 1981.
Well, great. Well, with many of our viewers, we say we all get better with age, and you're kicking off this big milestone by adding another channel, so to speak, or doubling your offerings. Tell us what all this means, and especially for the listener.
Sure. It's very exciting for the listener, because what we've tried to be during our first 30 years is have something for everyone, sort of an oral Whitman sampler, I guess you could say. And so we have news, we have classical music, we have jazz, we have acoustic music, just a very eclectic format. And that has worked quite well for the most part for the past 30 years. But people who like a particular part of our format, they always want more. And so now technology, and particularly what they call the hybrid digital technology that we're using now, enables us to split our frequency, 88.1, into 2 different channels. And so now we are able to have a channel that is more predominantly news and information, but also some of the eclectic programming that has always been our hallmark. And then our second channel is now 24 hours a day, pure classical music for the classical music lovers. So we're glad to give everybody more of what they want.
Right, right. Well, I know you wouldn't undertake this without doing some research and stuff. Tell us a little bit about, this was a well thought out process. Tell us a little bit about that, and then how the technology entered into the solution.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we've known for about the last decade that we've had a little bit of a problem in terms of what you call listener loyalty. And that is, you want somebody, when they tune to you, you want to become their station, and you want them to stay with you throughout the entire broadcast day. And what we began to notice, and have noticed, as I said, for almost over a decade, is that we did the news. We had a very strong audience for the news programs in the mornings, and then at 9 o'clock when we went to classical music, quite a few people tuned away. And then they came back in the afternoons around 1 o'clock when we returned once again to the news format. And so that told us, okay, we've got a little bit of a problem here, because we want these people to stay with us all day long. The technology now has enabled us to solve that problem, because now we have really 2 separate channels, and each one concentrates primarily on a single format for the most part.
So you should be able to build your listener loyalty for the news people in one channel,
Absolutely.
And to the classical people who enjoy that on the other.
Yes, and for the people who have liked it the way it's always been, they can do that too, because they can listen to Channel 1 in the morning, and at 9 o'clock when Morning Edition ends, if they want to listen to classical music, they just tune to Channel 2, and they can have classical music as long as they want, and then in the afternoon they want to hear some more news, they can switch back. So it's a win-win for the listeners.
Sounds like great, it is. It's just going to be a great thing. But I know there are some little gizmos that are involved, at least for right now,
Yes.
and you brought some here. Tell us a little bit about what the listeners need to know to make sure they are able to take advantage of what you're now offering.
Absolutely. You have to have what's called an HD radio. And unlike television, it doesn't stand for high definition. It stands for hybrid digital. Because what it means is the main channel, what we call the main channel now, is the channel that people have always listened to for 30 years. And it is an analog signal. That's what FM is that we've been used to all these years. Well, it still has that analog signal. We actually have two transmitters. So the main channel will continue to operate both digitally and both analog, and so that'll continue the same. The second digital channel is pure digital, so you have to have an HD receiver in order to pick it up. Now, one big myth was, oh my gosh, I can't afford to go buy one of these expensive new HD radios. Well, I have done a lot of research, and there are very affordable solutions for people, and that's why I brought some samples here.
About what you've got
let me start with this little one right here. This is a car HD radio.
Do you mind?
Yeah, I'll let you hold it. It is it's available through Radio Shack online. It is a JVC, $19.95 for this little device here. I have one in my car. It works like gangbusters. It plugs into your existing radio in your car if you have the right kind of connectors. And that's the other thing too. You need to, for $20 you get this, and you get an installation kit for your car. Best thing to do at that point, though, is to take it to your dealer and say, will you hook this up for me? And you probably have to pay them a little bit to have them hook it up, but it'll be worth it in the long run. So very affordable. So that takes care of your car right there. You suddenly can have HD in your car.
What about at home?
Down at home here, this unit on the bottom here, this long flat one, this is an FM tuner. It's an HD FM tuner. People who have component stereo systems are familiar with tuners. This is one of the components. This also available for Radio Shack online. It is an Auvio, AUVIO is the brand name. It is now on sale on their website for $39.95, $40 for a tuner that you can plug into your home stereo, and suddenly you have HD and you have all the advantages that HD offers. So not terribly expensive. So I think these are very affordable solutions. If you wanted to turn this tuner into a table radio, you could get a very inexpensive pair of powered speakers that come with computers, set them on top, voila, you've got a table radio. And speaking of computers, you don't have to have any of this if you like to listen to the radio online, because we stream both of the channels at WUWF.org. So if you have a computer that has speakers, then you don't have to buy any of these. You can just listen through your computer.
So somebody's at home, they got the computer on, they can just turn that on and listen to it that way.
Yes. And a third option is this old baby right here, which is an internet radio, because that's the newest thing now, is they now have radios that are capable of picking up stations from all over the world through the internet. So anywhere that you have a Wi-Fi, any kind of an internet connection, you can use this radio, and you can pick up all of the NPR stations in the entire country, plus stations throughout the world, including, of course, WWF. So lots of options, very affordable. And I've been working with people one-on-one, listeners who call me and say, I missed the classical music on the main channel, how can I get to it? And I've been telling them and showing them, and they have been delighted. And so many people have now gone and purchased these very inexpensive units, and they're happy as can be.
Let me ask you a very basic question. Sure. 88.1.
Yes.
Where's the other channel?
It is also 88.1. Because what the digital technology does, it allows us to split the existing frequency into two separate channels. So if you have an HD receiver, it'll show 88.1-1, and then you click it one time and it goes 88.1-2. And so those two channels are still at the same frequency,
so
88.1.
They're at their same home base, they're just a little extra on the end there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I will say, so far, we're into day 3 of the program enhancements, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. People are very excited about it, and the people who are missing their classical music suddenly on the main channel, once they find out how easy it is to access it on the second channel, they're delighted as well.
Well, thank you very much, and best of luck. It sounds like a great thing for the station, for your listeners. It's just a great thing for everybody. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff.